bumper. Say less moments. Back on a bump L ski. Bump L ski. Let's get straight to it. I don't want to waste no time. You did. Welcome, Detective Carl Winslow, aka Aunt Jefe. Don't matter what the checks say. And then his boy, his bitter noy, Old Cash. Look at Old Cash. Crater face, boy, he been getting some moisturizer and some fluffer and buffer for them craters. Well, look at the new squad. Federal indictment twerkers. Oh yeah, we ain't calling them federal indictment workers because they will all do something strange for a little bit of change. It's the Aunt Halfway. Don't matter what the checks say. You feel me? Just as long as it's a check. This is the Sunday. I might start preaching in a minute. But we're going to run it back from the last video and we're going to get straight to it. Watch Fed Depot, not Home Depot. Fed Depot. No jumper.
Police told them this was going on. They was investigating unbeknownst to anybody. And then Loose Cannon came on camera and said what he said.
So here goes another question, right? I noticed that in there it's a 4-year thing, right? And it's out of the 7 people or whatever, 6 of them are continuously intertwined in things over the years, right? Yeah. So when they say the group, we can say, okay, well, y'all, they got y'all wiretap doing shit over years. So you got Loose ain't on no wiretaps, and they got him involved in one situation. Can they say he's part of the enterprise? Because he did it was the one thing he in and out, but on everything else,
it only takes one thing. All it takes is one thing to involve you in, just like getting put on the hood. It took that one thing.
He admitted to it, makes him a part of the conspiracy.
Exactly.
Now, no, of course, all the shit that got trumped up on Big U allegedly, like, no, that ain't got nothing to do with him. Did he a part of the case based on the alleged robbery that old boy was already telling on? So the whole indictment really don't have nothing to do with him, just that robbery part. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing they gonna really get him on.
Because like Brick ain't in the RICO, correct? He got his own thing he did over here, right? Yeah. But they got Loose allegedly on one situation. He's named in the RICO. What everybody else that kind of had involvement from what it looked like over a period of time.
Also, that's another confusing thing because our FaceTime audio and FaceTime calls encrypted or not? Because they're trying to say that there's FaceTime calls that they have records of, but from my understanding, FaceTime audio and FaceTime video.
Now let me tell you. So I know somebody that went to jail for that. So basically, what they got is no audio, but they got like lip readers.
Okay, so they have the video from FaceTime.
Yeah,
but that's supposed to be encrypted, right?
Man,
that's supposed to be.
I don't know what y'all talking about right now.
Okay, so
I don't know what
a lot of people say this.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all talking about. What FaceTime you talking about?
So they're talking about if you look at the Big U indictment, there's multiple times they're referring to FaceTime conversations. For example, the Brick Baby conversation. They said it was via FaceTime, but that's confusing to me because FaceTime is supposedly
people in the streets say, "Call me FaceTime."
Right.
They think that it ain't recorded. You can't tap it. Whatever.
Yeah, that's what the hood say.
Call me FaceTime.
Yeah, that's what Young Thug. He was in YSL.
Jail for it.
That's what Woody was talking about.
Recording, no audio.
That's exactly what Woody was talking about.
So I was like, "Shit, why y'all just not talk like this?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the code.
That's the next
here.
So
I increase Ukrainian.
Listen, man, I've been waiting for this day.
Yeah.
I've been
wow.
You bold with him up percent something.
Sure.
And you really don't want to have a conversation with him.
He would wait on Big U to go to jail.
But with you, I can authentically say
here we go.
Walk the walk.
Here we go, glazing.
You form a notable set.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You've been places.
Here goes the glazing.
So please, man, I want to hear
be my homie
that you say, "What? That's some bullshit." And you wrong.
Yeah, because Ant, for those who don't know, Ant has vocally disagreed with WAK.
No,
For
that's
sure.
cool. I'll be looking at it calm because look, nigga might be right.
And
I'm here to moderate.
and a lot of niggas mad at me, right? You know how many phone calls I was getting, like, hey man, why you going up there? Why you doing this? This is a bad look. And I'm like, how this is a bad look, bro? Like, ever since I dropped this segment yesterday, saying I got on the phone call with this man, and niggas I grew up with, my childhood friends, you know what I'm saying, called in, was like, nah, bro, he didn't tell on us. Niggas just like act like I'm enemy suspect number one, or I'm pharmacist.
Well, you know what? First of all, let's cover that. Let's cover that. First of all,
well, y'all never spoke before yesterday.
No, for the other day, never. Right? First
Exactly.
of all,
WAK be screening.
When you
He be doing what Snoopy Badass be doing, screening.
A nigga from inner city, LA, Compton, Boss, East Side, West Side, 70% of what I deal with, I wouldn't deal with. But because when it comes to the music industry and shit like that, and I'm from Pacoima, and I'm from the Valley, right? Our streets think how a nigga from Whoop-de-Whoop is in position doing Whoop-de-Whoop, and they're not understanding. We talking about an individual when it comes to business. This ain't about what a nigga hood did and they didn't award a nigga hood this, that, or this and that, right? So the fact that I'm from the Valley, right, that's what triggers the majority of it. Now, depending on where you go, what neighborhood you go to, they love WAK because they done reached down, WAK done pulled up to the east side. I done been on Mary Street with 3-4 of the people was losing their houses. When I had the real estate office and the financial office, you know what I did? Went over there and redid their loans and saved in people's houses. Shout out to my man Zico from 89th Street, right? So, and know what I charged? Nothing. I remember pulling up to when his little brother get killed, and they told me to come to the funeral. When I got there was a disagreement going on at the house. So what's the problem? Well, after Holmes just kind of showed him, what is it? I wrote the check. Let's get him in the ground, right? But these is cats I did time with. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have extreme love for my Keyway partners. It's real shit.
Oh, shit.
Right. They picked me up from Central Juvenile Hall on the Goose. I left Eminem and went to Delano, right? Young nigga, fresh out of YA. Right? When I get in there, everybody roll calling where they from. 3-4 niggas say we got us one. I'm the only diamond in there. I jump up, Big Fish from 6-0, G nigga. He like, nah, nigga, this nigga look like he can be my son. He got the heart to jump up, head up and nothing. That's love. I done been indoors, my nigga, Crazy C from Schoolyard. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right. Check this out. I know you don't know me, but nigga, you know, because back then there was that black and brown thing going on. You called me out of the blue.
Right.
Right? I'm in this contract with Don King. I've been fighting for a year. He won't let me out. 2 weeks. I make a call, boom. I get you.
Well. Keep on talking. So now we just found out how WAK met 600. He was in a bind with Don King. Stupid nigga, 2000. You didn't know he was the one milking Mike Tyson back in the day? Oh, man, everybody in the hood know he was milking him. So that says a lot about your credibility in the hood. Don King, boy, if you took that deal, you was asking for change in front of McDonald's. Oh, my mama, you was. To call Don King Captain, fuck over him? No, let me explain to you. Don King will get millions and give you a couple thousand. Oh, my mama. So now you went from a flim flam artist to another flim flam artist and also a scam artist. And you did this all in the name of WAK. Unbeknownst to us, you and Loose Cannon got beef. But you never had beef until all this telling started going on. Oh yeah, we pick up on the vibes. We are not slow. But you gotta come to Say Less Moments TV to get the truth. This nigga met Wackio 100 off a goddamn bad deal? Like, save me, please. Man, you went to a church service. You went to WAK 100 church service and got baptized. You would say anything because he's getting you out that deal. Right? Comprende? No habla? Sheesh.
What I owe you, WAK, what I tell you.
Right, what's that?
Right? So at the end of the day, I'm colorblind. I'm not a gangbanger. I don't hate a motherfucker with me, period. And a lot of people, believe it or not, and you gonna understand it, that's calling you, it's people that probably reach to me and I just wouldn't do nothing with them.
Yeah.
A lot of them be mad because
I ain't asking your ass for shit.
With you, if it's a door to be open and you call me, he gonna do that for you and I'm gonna keep moving.
Do you think, WAK, do you think more people look at you as an industry person or a street person when it comes down to it?
Yeah, tell us.
When they want to crucify me, they call me a street nigga. Right? And now I'm gonna be real. Before you get going, because I want you to have your questions right. Hey, if I don't do nothing, no, hey, listen to me. I do nothing in the streets.
It ain't nothing. It ain't look. All right, look.
Hey, hear me out. I do nothing in the street to generate income. If I did anything in the streets to generate income, anybody I did business with, like 6ix9ine anybody, I'd be in total violation.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't never say I'm protecting somebody. Mm-hmm. People know I'm doing business because I tell them, they ain't like they found out. I'll be like, yo, I'm finna go do this.
Violation for it.
No, if I was getting money in the street,
but we
on some real shit. I should be fraternizing. Nah, you can't.
We gonna set a lot of narratives.
Come on, I'm waiting.
Come on, Ed.
So look,
Come on,
here, go here. Go crazy, gang.
First and foremost, my first issue, the podcast with you and Big U. You know what I'm saying?
At my studio with Gilly and Wallow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You was like, they asked you about the Monster and You thing, and let's
talk about that.
Listen, hold on before we get there. So my thing is, I could never have a problem about who you pick. Like, if that's your pick, that's your choice. I don't give a, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, all my choices ain't gonna be a trade. So, like, if that's who you pick, that's who you pick.
You remember what the overall was?
What you saying though?
When it comes to gripping,
Gilly and Wallow was basically like giving respect to Monster. Like, nigga, like as far as on the East Coast, Monster set the president. Like, he the reason why niggas gang banging. That's who we looked up to.
He wrote the book.
No, not only that, I swear to God,
he wrote the book.
The Bloods, from what they tell me, started over there. So them read Monster Cody's book. I'm totally confused about that.
Yeah,
that's read a motherfucking Crip book.
And like, we gonna be blood.
Because I read the book in Eminem. I read the book.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta acknowledge the importance of the book.
So, but here's the thing. The difference between Monster Cody and Big U was the transitioning.
You get transition as far as what?
Monster, I don't know what he was thinking because he had Oprah. This nigga had Oprah Winfrey on the side. Remember Oprah, that big ass book club? Because see, when he did it, they had to run it through Canada and bring it back because of the son of Sam law. So if you look at the back of the book, instead of it saying U.S. first, it said Canada first. They were just intrigued with this nigga work to do that, right? They didn't use that against him not to do it, right? So when he came home, right, he had a motherfucking door so open to step in and run it up. Right. But we seen the book, we read the book, everybody knew about the book. But when Monster come home, all you heard was he home, and then you heard about when he went back. Right. When Big U came home, right, he transitioned. And I'm gonna be real. I know it's transitioning because it was the rare.
Hit that like button, subscribe if you ain't subscribed. Hit that like button, hit that like button.
Right, with the son. Right. We bailed him out, got him a turn.
Brazil in the building. Brazil in the building.
Check came
hit that like button, subscribe. Hit that notification bell.
Right, they let him make 80. Right, the Nipsey deal come through me and Gang strategizing and setting up for him to get the bag. So, and then through us, he met a lot of industry people. Right, so Big U, I feel like
get the likes up, subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Have you asked me who had more notoriety when it comes to the streets in that era? Monster Cody and Big U, I'm gonna tell you Monster Cody. I never heard of Big U when I was right. No. You can't take that, right? And then when you get to the pen, you hear about all the work he put in. But to transition in from that, what you're doing, you're transitioning more than Monster, right? The transitioning coming home after having a spark, he had more of a spark because he had a book that was out that Oprah Winfrey was acknowledging, so he could have stepped out right? And went. Big U had to come home, use the corrupt card to get to death row, and then from there he met us. So when it comes to the transitioning, what's
WAK. Why did you just compare him to Monster Cody? He just said this man did corrupt stuff in the streets to come up from getting out the pen. I can't even look at y'all right now. That is so telling, nigga. Like telling if you a 3-time felon, nigga, you all bad. That's telling. Why would you let your dick smackers say some shit like that? I couldn't even look at WAK. Like, if he was here right now, I'd be like, my nigga, you just got on a live podcast knowing this nigga's fighting Rico right now on the same goddamn podcast with Brick Baby flexing with the no jumper pillow in the background logo. The feds is on no jumper. And you just told these people, yeah, Monster Cody, when he got out, his book was already Oprah Winfrey, and he could have just took right off and rode in the sunset. Big U come home, he made the transition from doing corrupt stuff in the streets. Nigga, that's telling. I can't even look at this nigga right now. Nigga, you out of so many pockets, you might as well pull the pockets out your jeans. You so out of pocket. Nigga, that's how you should walk up to niggas. WAK 100 should walk up to niggas with his pockets out just to let us know he out of pocket. Sheesh. This nigga bad for business, bad for blackness, bad for Paru. Sheesh, I'm glad you a Paru. God damn, I have some more words to say. But you a Paru. And they say the Parus started from the Crips. So for him to be on Monster Cody and Big U Swiper, go ahead and do your thing. Because y'all used to be Crips anyway. Tell the Parus to say I'm lying. Tell the Parus to say the first Parus came from the Crips. To be exact, Compton. Yeah, you don't like it, then go tell your homies.
they killed the Tookie that they killed? Tookie transitioned in on death row. He wrote the children's book, but he was never able to come back to the streets and blossom with it, right?
Yeah, but WAK, wouldn't you say that back then there was way less opportunities for?
Yeah, goddamn
you
right.
feel me? Like, so and Monster a little older than Big U.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So it's
Like generation of
that's what I'm saying.
Monster like second generation, you like third generation.
That's the whole previous generation.
Listen, I stand on that. I think Big U, when it came to the Crips in his era, he had a name in there right now.
Subscribe if you ain't subscribed. Hit that like button.
Overall. He just had
Hit
a
that notification bell. Kick that notification bell.
He had your help.
Bang that
I don't
motherfucker.
see no one around Monster who had.
So, all right, look. Look, that's what I'm gonna say. Look. Man,
That nigga could have win.
the people that Monster, you know what I'm saying, had around him, like for sure, Monster had billionaire motherfuckers around him.
Hell yeah.
Monster tell you like it connects.
Shouldn't even be up there.
People he had in his pocket. This the thing is about Monster. Monster didn't care about that shit. Like for real, seriously, like even the homegirl that with me from years, the G homegirl, she'd tell you, she like
Hit
Monster
that like
did
button.
it
Subscribe if you ain't
regardless of
subscribed.
how that nigga died, like yeah, to you because you live in this life and you might be more aware. Like it was like if I got $1 billion or $100 million, I ain't gonna do this and that. Like that nigga lived and died how he wanted to die. Like he didn't care, and so that's what I'm saying. So just process shit differently. So that could have been like shit from him saying the ledge that he did in the streets, like them demons fostering on him to where like
a wide area too, bro.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
man, it ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Between having somebody behind you with the bag who will help you, and then somebody like WAK who able to navigate it and use that bag to get you there. You know what I'm
no, but that's what I'm saying.
No,
He had all the people like they was willing to help. But I'm saying that was Monster was just doing him, like he was on. He was on.
Okay,
his,
so
he
we're
was doing
saying
what he had to do. He was on his little bed, just going back and forth to jail.
Right.
He did that. I'm saying to where you probably, you know what I'm saying, probably got it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Then he had them around him to help him, like other street people, you know what I'm saying? To where it's different from being helped by people from your background, that's your peers that got money, then you just meeting somebody that might be, you know what I'm saying, westernized to you, or you know what I'm saying,
see, one thing you gotta give Big U credit for is he came looking for the help.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, his companies, he established these things while he was in jail. So he had a plan. What he's saying is, Monster got his ass out and did Monster. Yeah. So in that right, when we talking about it, and I believe right now on some real shit, I see a lot of street dudes, right, that's making a run from big shit. Mm-hmm. Right now in this era, I'm watching it, like coming from my neighborhood, right? It's a lot of dudes, Jeff Rod, Casted, had big names moving a lot of work. The first battle ram that happened in Pacoima, California. Right? You get what I'm saying? You don't know what the battle ram is?
No, nigga, we ain't 100 years old.
You know what the battle ram is. I don't know. So the battle ram is here, they got like this vehicle, tank style vehicle, they got a long thing in the front with a big ass square plate.
Right.
And they pull up on your front yard, they hit your door with it. Right? That happened at Snowfall. You watch Snowfall, them was Pacoima projects, right? That's not the complete story.
Nigga, who gives a damn?
I thought that was supposed to be Freeway Rick.
That's right. I thought that was Bennett. Baby mama grew up in our neighborhood as kids, right?
Wasn't supposed to be the PJs over there? The Imperial Courts?
The Pacoima projects on High Boulevard and Muff.
Okay, go on, man.
That's what you mean.
And it got different scenes, though. Like different.
It was from the Imperial.
No, what I'm telling you is that's where it's supposed to be. But the location is shot. It's both sets of projects. So, right? So, me coming from where I'm coming from and my homeboys, right? I don't just take them to this shit. They'll tell you, nigga, I done took these niggas to Russia, the Philippines, Thailand, London, Dubai, because I want them to see these things so they can come back and be reaching for something else. So within that, and I wish we had a board. I think I'm one up.
Well, here's the thing, real quick. Just to summarize that.
Because what you're saying is,
I brought you to No Jumper.
What he did because he didn't give him.
Listen, that you never let me finish. That wasn't my issue.
Go ahead.
This was my issue. So you get off. They do the Monster versus you thing. So you like, I got Big U. You know, he knocked out 30 Mexicans. You know, Monster. You know, smoking crack. Ooh, this and that. So I'm just like, damn, that's just like flag on the play. Like, what did that man got to do smoking crack? Like his gangsterism was his gangsterism. Like smoking crack.
And what? And now what? You both know. Now me personally, I got some G homies that's knockout artists. I ain't gonna say their names, right?
Man, here go the deflection.
The minute you put that pipe in your mouth, I'm not gonna give you. It's a few things, right? I got some homies that used to be Crips and turned the hood. You could never have the status of a G homie that just been from the hood. The minute you put that pipe in your mouth, and I'm gonna be real, certain things I accept because of the era. PCP and them niggas era, I don't hold it against them, right?
That's a sure
I'm gonna be real. Another one that's kind of on the edge is the Primos and the powder, right?
I was gonna say powder in general.
No, I don't because I know what it is. But nigga, if you put that straight shooter in your mouth, I can't give you the same R that I gave that to nigga from your same generation or whatever who didn't, because y'all was experiencing the same shit. I don't think. I'm looking at you. I don't think you ever fucked around.
No, hell no.
Okay, I ain't no fucking around. Right? So look, hold on. Now be real. So if it's a homie, I say if it's a homie, it's hypothetically, and he smoke crack. The minute he say some weird shit, right? Or they like, man, that nigga whoop said this about you. What first thing you gonna say? Oh, bass head ass nigga. Keep it real.
Oh, listen. I ain't gonna lie. Let's see. I'm really a nigga that stand on like it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. Now, hell no, I'm not gonna smoke crack, nigga. I'm not gonna smoke water, nigga. I don't do nothing but smoke weed. Yeah, I don't do shit but smoke weed. I don't smoke cigarettes, none of that shit my whole life. This is the only thing I do. If I stop this, I'll stop spending a lot of money. I'll get in trouble for this shit right here. Yeah. I don't do shit else. I rarely drink unless I'm with my niggas that drink or anything. So it's all about like, man, if you out there, you hoboish and you being a crackhead, Yeah, nigga, like, man, that nigga's a smoker. You feel me?
That's why I was
But
saying.
I never seen Monster in a smoker. Like, it might be some other homies like Big Bro. He older than me. But I never seen Monster in a smoker like, but I knew what he was doing. But I see some G homies of his generation that I'll be like, man, that nigga's a smoker. That nigga better not say nothing to tell me nothing because they was out there like that and they was acting
And guess what?
You know what I'm saying?
It was 8 trades that I did time with because I was so intrigued by the book.
Here we go.
Right? You know, that nigga really had you on the missions with
You always got a story about being with everybody.
I was so intrigued by the book when I ran into, hey man, the nigga Moss, because y'all remember, I'm younger than this nigga. So now I read this nigga book when I was 15, 16. Mm-hmm. So when I run into niggas from A-Trade, right, I'm kind of like how the out of town niggas was. I'm like, hey, homie, but this nigga really, you know what I'm saying?
Sure,
so they like, nah, WAK, he was whoop. All this penitentiary shit, checked out. Right. He was a terrorist. All the street shit, checked out. They said, well, that ain't even a half of it. But then you get a lot of them, and probably because they would like, we hate them, man. Mouth to mouth, whoop their ass. They bitch, I don't know. They would always end
here we go with the other side of things.
One person they just talked about, they got a perfect image.
He wiggle out of every conversation.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I tell you this all the time.
He is good with the commentation.
It seemed like, man, Harmon, he wasn't doing nothing to nobody. He trying to help them. And they like, oh, this nigga trying to help everybody, man. Man, get him. Like, so it don't even matter what you do, bro.
We're not going to get off into it, right? Because I respect that. That's where the homie from. It's a whole lot of crazy shit they would tell me, right? And I would just look at them like, God damn, like, because now it's with me because it's taken away. I really wish I wouldn't have asked him.
Yeah.
With the superhero in the book. I don't want to hear this shit. No,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, there's a lot of shit.
They tried to, like, from an outside perspective, reading that book from somebody from, like, the far west side of LA. I was like, yeah.
California.
Yeah. This is like gangbanging at his finest. Yes. This is what made me want it.
I'm gonna tell you his biggest thing.
He was right there with that generation.
Bro, his biggest thing, and a lot of niggas ain't gave it to him because nobody ain't covered it. You should probably cover it. His book is the only book written that come from this gangbang culture that influenced the mother country.
For sure.
I don't know about all that. I ain't all deep in the monster code.
That's a template.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even read the book. I ain't read nothing.
And that's another thing you said. You was like, a lot of shit in the book. You was like, man, a lot of stuff in the book is made up. It ain't factual. And I'm like, man, hold on. As far as I look, I've been with some of these niggas. Like, I've been to Pelican Bay. I've been to High Desert.
Well, I don't remember saying that.
Look,
because a lot of niggas told me.
No, that's what you said. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, hold on. So I kind of felt like at
he
that
said,
time,
I don't remember saying that.
Man, you was on.
This nigga said, I don't remember saying that.
I'm gonna be real big. You with the A-Trays.
No,
I seen some crazy shit before.
When you know
I seen some crazy shit.
Here we go with telling.
He was like this. Look,
here we go with telling.
You want to speak on his face like this, like.
Here we go with telling. I seen Big U fucking with the A-Trays.
I remember when he had his office on 42nd and 43rd.
He always wiggle out of some shit.
One of your homies, he did like 28 years, 30 years. It's probably 20.
Hit that like button, subscribe if you ain't subscribed.
Right before Sandman get killed. And I come in there and he introduced me to him. And it was by himself. So I'm like, oh shit. I just moved through from A-Trade. We did time together. He was trying to help him get something set up in his section or whatever, right? So, that's one thing about him. He always would tell me he ain't never had problems with power rules, even though it's some NHPs in Inglewood. And he said that the niggas that's supposed to be in his ops was always the ones to wake him up on what his homies was trying to do with it.
Well, he was cool with Melvin. He was cool with Melvin Farmer, right? Melvin Farmer was at Nip funeral and all that. So
yeah, a lot of like all the older.
Well, this is one fact. I'm from Inglewood, and I always knew somehow, some way, that a lot of neighborhood power rules, the OGs that I would call OGs back then, when I was about like 13, I ain't gonna say no names, but they used to be wearing the all blue Pendleton, all blue Chucks, all blue Dickies, blue T-shirt, blue 501s, blue Nike Cortez. Oh yes, in the NHPs. I think that's the only hood in Inglewood that I would see wear blue on a regular. And I always wonder why. And now, telling WAK what I always wondered has now been come to the light. He just said that the NHPs, he don't know what real dealings he had with them, but they would enlighten him to his homies trying to do stuff to him. How could they enlighten you if they ain't talking to you? Or if they ain't fucking with some of your homies? That got me really thinking right now. Because they was the only hood, and they the closest to the 6-0s. Besides the Centennial Park families, but that's all like one little area. So when the 6-0s come down Hyde Park, they're gonna come down Beach and everything. You know what I mean? They're gonna come down Eucalyptus. So they gonna hit Rogers Park. I remember they almost got me, like, it was summer. It was about like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I knew I was hella late. But I was fucking with this little young bitch, you know. So whatever happened, her mom and dad wasn't there or for the weekend or something. They wasn't gonna be there. So I was calling myself going over there early in the morning and staying over there all day. You could call it laid up, whatever. But that night, I remember I was on a bike. That's how young I was, like 15, 16. And like I guess I probably woke up or some shit, but it was like 2. So I probably left after I did what I did, probably smacked them cheeks and then left. But no lie, as soon as I'm riding down Beach, I get right to the first opening. I'm coming from like Hutton. No, not Hutton. What's that school right there? Right there on Beach. But I'm not coming from the 6-0 way. I'm coming more from like the Centinela over the hill, like where the T-shirt, Mighty T's be at and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, I'm coming from over there. The bitch stay on Acacia. She used to stay on Acacia in the NHPs on the Acacia block. They tried to start an Acacia block Pyro, but they sent a boy back to Mexico, and DeAndre, I don't know, he probably downtown LA smoking. But anyways, so yeah, I'm riding back coming from there, and I get to Rogers Park, the first opening, on my way to Eucalyptus. And that first opening, all I seen was a dark van, and the side door was open. So I was like, fuck that shit. So I didn't have no blammer or nothing. So I started smashing through the motherfucking the parking lot. So I'm going so fast that I get through the trailway. So when I get to the trailway, I start, doing my shit. No lie. Something told me to stay through that little driveway walkway that's over there by the little baseball field and the little bleacher seats right there. It's a little alleyway before you get to Faithful Central. It's a parking lot, and then it's Faithful Central and a parking lot. So I was like, let me post right here for a minute. No lie. I get to the end of the gate. I see these dudes trying to park in the motherfucking the little parking lot and wait for me like they must have thought I was like pedaling slow. They didn't see me go down Eucalyptus, but something told me to stop. That night I could have got smoked. I already know who it was. It was not the homies. They didn't have no motherfucking. It was like a blue Astro van, just like man, what run back in my head Friday when they came looking for Craig and Smokey, and them niggas laying anything, and them niggas was out. The door was open just like that old Chevy, whatever kind of Chevy car that was, like GMC. I don't know, nigga. But I know they was trying to get me. I don't know how I got away. It was so young. I was so young so long time ago. I probably took a different way, but I seen them post in the motherfucking parking lot. I was like, yeah, I would have been red meat. So another thing, that's why I was saying, like, they so close to the 6-0s, and now that I think about it, some of the homies turned NHP, but they older brothers was from 6-0. And that was the generation after. But I'm talking about the older ones that I was already fucking with. Say less. I ain't got nothing else to say about that.
Like went over there, you feel me? Like for sure. So he, a lot of them dudes, and that's what I'll be saying, like a lot of them dudes from like them first, second until like third generations, all them dudes went to school with each other, they know each other, mama, daddy, like a lot of them dudes still like be having friendships.
Hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed.
And WAK brought up something
hit that notification bell.
I never got to ask somebody from A-Trade this, so it's interesting opportunity, but like
get the super chat.
How do y'all
get
feel
that super
when
chat
somebody when people try to put
get
that
super
extra
chat
slander on Monster's name? You feel me? Like them type of rumors and things that people be trying to put on the OG like that.
Like, man, like, for me,
They
like...
gonna do it to anybody, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like I said, like, I'm not about to sit here and get mad about some shit I don't know about. You feel me? And I just feel like niggas shouldn't be speaking on shit that they know about. Like, yeah, nigga in the hood, like, nigga, like, nigga, I know what's up. Like, I'm not a nigga that's just out here lost, just gang banging. Like, a nigga, like, studied this shit, you feel me? Like, a nigga grew with this shit. Like, nigga from 12 years old on up. Like, a nigga grew with this shit, transitioned with this shit. So, like, nigga did everything you can do wrong in the street. So, a lot of shit, like, I understand. And, like, I understand that a lot of niggas in the beginning sold a nigga narrative that they didn't stick to. I stuck to that script. But these niggas, you know what I'm saying, been ventured off, but you find on later on down the line, you know what I'm saying, once you get these accolades and you get privy to information and shit like that, you find out what's going on. I heard all type of shit, bro. But like, if you from the outside looking in, you not from this community, like, you really don't know unless you a nigga that's been there with him, and you can be like, oh, he did this, I was there, I did time with him, and blah blah blah. You feel me?
I got homies from Palmdale, Lancaster, right? A lot of niggas from Pacoima, like inner city LA, they migrate to Fontana and
100%. Yeah.
So a lot of my homies went to Palmdale, Lancaster, right? So they get up there, they eventually find.
That's what I said. Everybody run to Palmdale, Lancaster. I just told the homie that today. Everybody go to Palmdale, Lancaster.
This dude right here now
it's Palmdale, Lancaster.
They don't know he's
everywhere close to California.
They don't know he ain't never had a fight. They don't know he ain't never did a day. He looked the part and he talking the talk. So then they're running to somebody like us. Yeah, man, I hang with such and such. Oh, man, that nigga's a rat. That nigga's a buster. Right?
So that's because the internet wasn't cracking.
Because you don't know. Like I'm gonna be real. Once upon a time in the neighborhood, it was generations and generations of everybody's family knew each other. Right. Now it's a lot of people spread out everywhere. Vegas, Arizona, Palmdale, Victorville, shit. They did knock whole neighborhoods down and give them a nigga a voucher to go elsewhere, right? So it's a disconnect. You know what I'm saying?
The community aspect.
It's more of an actual connect, because now people was going to other cities. People was tapping in with the home team. People was actually on the internet. Paper was floating around. Everybody, Instagram, everybody.
Well, that's what we did to it. We did that.
That's the exposure.
That's some shit we did. And I tell people, I'm gonna be real because there was a
Don't they laugh like that, like the detectives in the police office when they be thinking draws down, think he's slick?
Exposed.
Yeah, they like, here, draws down.
And I sat back and thought about this shit, right? I said, you know what? This is a very, very slick rule for the rats to make. Because they say you can't talk about it unless you want to come kill me, right? Or lie to me, right? So now that stopped people from talking about it. So I said, listen, we changing the rule. We ain't putting out this paperwork for nobody to do nothing to you. We are now in the realm of podcast, YouTube street. It's content. Right now, we gotta make people aware.
This will hack the whole fucking streets,
bro.
Wow.
I had a dude call me from Sacramento, Compton Crip dude. One of our homies.
Wow.
One in the A, right? I talked about the work.
You read the work to him. He was finna say read the work.
You don't know me. I got your number from over here. The nigga you talking about, I was just finna do some business with.
Oh.
So the fact that I put it out there, now made him aware that this dude ain't right. So what if you sitting in Tennessee, right? And
the wackest podcaster ever.
He got the tats, he walked the walk, he talked the talk. But then on Clubhouse, you hear WAK 100 saying, this dude whoop 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 whoop, we reading his paperwork.
No.
Would you not be appreciative?
No, I don't think there's I think you guys exposing snitches, files, JCats, ain't nothing wrong with that.
He told the people.
Gotta be exposed.
You hear what he said about me? He said, if y'all got to work on WAK, send it to me, and I'm gonna run it.
Yeah.
So hold on, when you run it, you gonna come do something to me?
I'm gonna come do something.
That's the rule, right?
That's the rule.
I ain't about an old rule. I about a new shit.
Hey,
You content.
Look, check this out.
See?
Rule.
He's just telling you, he gonna run content on anybody, even if it's fake.
I'm not a wire in the street popping my gun. I've been transitioned from that phase, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not
Hit that like button, subscribe if you got subscribe.
Yeah.
So, because this is my thing, right? So, I'm telling people today, right? So, this shit back shit keep coming up, right? So, this is what I tell them.
You gotta pay the light bill.
This monkey, Deuce M's, right? I'm gonna say his name because I ain't even want them dudes. I ain't gonna say your name because you too little for me. he come with the narrative that I try to debunk their narrative. Nigga, I never try to debunk no narrative. Like I said, this what type of I am. If I cover some content on you, Lust, something about you in a negative, and somebody come and give me some positive shit on you, with like, no, this happened to woo woo woo. That's gonna run that. Like, hey, look, I ran this yesterday, but just coming in, somebody gave me shed some light on that situation and said, no, they was there with us and this. Actually, this. I got to because I already ran the content on you, so I might as well run the other side of the flip side.
Might as well get paid off of your.
But I'm not even looking. But that's not even how I'm looking about getting paid.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general. Yeah,
bam, I ran the content. Look, what these motherfuckers don't understand, what I tell them, bro. I'm not a nigga that go through YouTube all day looking for content.
Yeah.
I got motherfuckers that do that for me without me paying for them. Like my supporters and fans send me shit all day. And I go through shit. And I go through shit that I want to react to and some shit I don't. And my fans be like, hey, I think you should react to this. And sometimes I do it for them. So the shit that Deuce M's put together on him came across my desk. Bam, so I looked at it. I'm like, oh, this shit some good content. This shit put together good. So I'm not even, I'm so high, right? When I'm listening to this shit, I'm not even knowing that this is a situation that I already know about. So when I run the content,
Well, hold on. So you mean to tell me
he was in jail with him?
You made a whole video?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then so
come on, man.
So boom. So my dudes from Main Street tap in like, hey, bro, look, yeah, you know, that was accurate. So
Travis Ford.
What was so no, not even Travis, but I know Travis too. I've been knowing that nigga.
What was that?
Drew, I've been knowing that nigga, but I'm not telling him like my like.
They said what was accurate?
That basically they said that because basically when I dropped my content yesterday, you know what I'm saying, I was talking about the conversation that me and WAK had, and I was like, you know, we talked about a lot of shit, you know, niggas, a lot of niggas in common and shit like that, and you know, we just like, you know, dropping little gems and chopping game. So I'm like amongst the conversation, you know, he was just like, man, hey, look, you know, nigga, ask your next from Main Street, you saying, you know, these ask them bop. I never even called in to ask. Because on Trey, we just had the conversation.
Look at the way WAK looking, just like a detective.
One of my niggas
Say more.
And called me.
Ain't that the face he had with Loose Cannon when he brought Loose Cannon to No Jumper?
Somebody told me if your foot on the
WAK 100 was looking at him just like that when Loose Cannon first came to No Jumper.
Some shit yesterday, you know what I'm saying, your content. He like, yeah, no, WAK didn't tell on us. You know what I'm saying, you know.
Hit that like button, subscribe if you ain't subscribed. Hit the super chats, don't be scared.
All right, for sure, you know what I'm saying.
Hit that notification bell.
The nigga got mad at me for saying that. Like, I bump what they said.
Look at the way he looking at Jefe, just like Loose Cannon when he brought him. And you can't even lie. WAK 100 has brought Jefe to No Jumper, just like Loose Cannon. Look how he looking at him.
You talking to a nigga that's been
remember when Loose Cannon was talking about Big U? Wasn't he leaned over just like that?
I know how to read. I know common sense. I know what I'm reading. I know what to look for. I'm a dude that been on them yard press and play. I'm not a dude that's talking about what he's seen and looked at happen. I'm a dude every yard.
Look at him. He
federal system. No,
he looked like a detective taking all your information in.
I know what it is. So when it comes to this CS shit and the CI shit, the C in that is confidential.
Right.
So let's say
That's a fact.
you pull up on me.
Hit the like button,
And I'm like,
subscribe,
yeah,
subscribe.
I got a tool with this nigga WAK, man. I'm gonna knock this nigga
Smash
down.
that notification
I
bell.
go down on an indictment.
Get that
This
super
shit's
chat
my
up.
paperwork that, man, you know, boom, a CS pulled
Promote
up
your
at the
business.
shop.
Hit that
and
super
told
chat.
him he was gonna knock
Promote your
WAK
business.
down. I know for sure, nigga, I had this conversation with you. The only people gonna know is me, you, and the police. Because you supposedly supposed to be this confidential source. So it's only us three that know. So if I'm on the yard, nigga, you happen to show up on the yard, that is not gonna be in your paperwork that you a confidential informant. So if I see you and I'm like, oh, and I go to the yard like nigga, and I go to the yard like this nigga snitch, and they like, what he snitch on? I'm like, this nigga the confidential informant, nigga, my paperwork, you know, this nigga came to my shop, and I'm the one, and I told this nigga at my shop that I was gonna knock WAK down, nigga, I know for sure he the only nigga I had the conversation with. You know what the yard gonna do?
You gotta handle it.
They not gonna jump on him because they don't know. It's his word against yours.
Yeah,
So
they
the
gonna
yard gonna be like, well, if he did that, go handle your business. So with that being said,
I just said,
if he
they gonna tell you,
is
go handle your
confidential
business.
source, nigga, informant, nigga, I don't know about that. It's confidential. I'm not the one that's been compromised.
Here goes the crazy part about this, right? See, when I'm reading this shit, I understand the time frame. You got these dudes who never around. You never even heard these names, right? It was different players out there around back then. Right? So when they saying WAK gonna give them the address, right? For me to give Del Dog Stutterbox address, that means I'm giving them my address. And literally, Del Dog's been hating my guts before I even knew Stutterbox because of some death row shit. Right? So he been hating me on the individual thing because of some death row shit. Then when it come to my neighborhood, my homeboy Cadillac Dave, rest in peace, when niggas used to go to this
Cadillac
Park over here.
Whoa, that's a cold name there. Cadillac
so he never
Dave.
really liked my neighborhood.
Boy, that shit crazy.
And how I handled him up at the row and made him kind of go push shit up and wouldn't let him in with shit. He didn't like me from that day forward. And that was cool, right? So by the time how me and Box come to be, me and Suge in the Beverly Center. This is back when the GTCs first come out, the hard top GTs, rather. So we're in the Beverly Center moving. Yes, me and Suge. It's Del Dog at about 6-7 Main Street. Guess who with him? Box. Now, I've been seeing a nigga come down my street in Rolls Royces, Bentleys, Range Rovers. I don't know who he is, right? At the time, I got the 500 in the Escalade. I'm still built. I got the trucking. The music ain't even going yet. In the real estate going, right?
24s on the Escalade.
So what you think happened when we walked up on each other at the Beverly Center?
24s on the Escalade. Yeah.
You done seen him already.
24s.
Bro,
Look at the way I smoke my weed.
House,
I'm so cool. I smoke weed with
we pulling up to the
NFA.
school, nigga, dropping our son off together, but we don't know who each other is, right? It's even closer than we thought. So he see me, I'm looking at him, we don't say that. Next morning, we drop our kids off at school, come back through the same gate, put in our driveways, met in the middle of the street. Hey, look, homie. Look, niggas don't even know where I'm at. He said, I don't want niggas to know where I'm at.
I ain't gonna lie.
He
WAK,
called me that
he
night.
know how to finesse like he a
His
real
baby
nigga.
mama.
He be finessing niggas like he a
So
real
now it's
nigga.
even closer, right? So through that's how we started talking. At the time, I still don't know who Stutterbox is, right?
Stutterbox
So shit happened with him. He called me over
I don't
here.
know who Stutterbox is.
He was telling me about what happened. I'm listening to him. Stutterbox stayed over there about 3-4 years. He sold his house for that $1 million and moved to Beverly Hills and got on. So, but Box at that time, he was always, I didn't know him because I met him in Lancaster. Now niggas from South Central from the east side know all about Box. I don't know really who Box is on overall, but I'll never forget that morning when I got the call from Mark. He said, hey, you talked to Box? I said, no. Now Mark mad at me because he snake boxed in Vegas when All-Star Weekend was out there. Now, but the car that got shot up, Box and gifted it to Mark. He said, this fixed and painted nigga is yours.
Here we
He
go.
sent it to him
Here we
in
go.
Atlanta.
Tell him.
So Mark is rocking with Box. Mark Stevens rocking with Box. The nigga Box is telling Mark, hey, brought him with dog, Box on with you. Nigga, we get to the All-Star Weekend, Box staying at the Palms. That morning I go to his room. I said, nigga, you might want to give me a key just in case I need to access your room. He said, you might be right. That night, Mark take Box and take him to a Shaq party in the Wind. Shaq used to have about 3-4 parties going on in one night. I'm not knowing, I go to the Palms waiting for Box to come down. When I get in the Palms, guess who had the VIP to the club? Dog in 6 Main Streets. And guess what he telling them? Yeah, I'm on the VIP list for Mark Stevens. I called Box, hey, Box, Dog is in your shit. Talking about Mark got him. He said, WAK, I said, I got your key. I'm meeting him in ballet, get him right? So when we get Mark on the phone, I said, where you at, nigga? I'm gonna break your motherfucking jaw. Right. You bitch ass.
Oh, man.
That's the day Box's relationship with Mark went sour because Box always protected Mark. But what the hell Box gonna say to me when he's seeing, nigga, you f***ing with an op.
Who can confirm this story?
He allegedly did this too, right?
Allegedly.
So that day, it broke up.
It's all alleged.
About a year go by. Mark called me out of nowhere. You talk to your man? I said, I ain't talked to him a couple days. Called and asked him what happened last night. I called him. Box told me a story to this day. It was unbelievable. He said he was driving up and down Sunset. His homies pulled up on him, slid in on him, escorted him back to the east side, get him in the yard, D.O. there, had him in a position, had his own cousin, Lil West or something, whoop on him. He had $30,000 in his pocket, so he was going to buy a 59 that night. They take his money and his jewelry. He ain't tripping the jury because it's fake, right? He wasn't tripping that. They told him to go get his 20 more thousand and the Shaq tape. Now the Shaq tape never existed because Box had cameras, but they didn't record. They just worked on the monitor. Hold on. So I said, well, Box, what you do? Because I know how he used to be. That nigga Box said, nigga, he said, WAK, they threatened my niece, and I drove right to the sheriff department and filed a report.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you that today.
All right, yeah. So look, bam. So with all that, so
I ain't got nothing to do with that shit.
Look, all right, so look, so bam, so I got some calls today, right? So, bam, people tapping in with me now. So they like, hey, you and old boy Do Sims, y'all into it over nothing. I'm like, man, him, bro. He already had jumped out there like with the disrespect, like with the disrespect to my buster and bitch and all that. Like, nigga, it ain't no cool. Like, nigga, it ain't no cool. But we ain't even about to send no threats or do all that. That's just what it is. But
He said,
they like, oh, y'all was talking about two different situations. So they trying to say that, and what you was talking about, you talking about the Main Street State case, the CS back shit that they trying to call WAK. They talking about that was a federal case. But I'm like, well, I don't know nothing about that, nigga. I'm like, whether we talking about two cases or not, I know what I was talking about. I'm speaking on what I was speaking on.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. Where you was at with all the Main Streets fighting the Stutter Box case? Where was that?
That was we was in Wayside.
Wayside where? You did time in the feds, right?
For sure.
Do they say niggas is fighting fed cases at Wayside?
Hell no.
See, a lot of these dudes be talking. That was Box for 6 months. Let me tell you another thing,
yeah,
my
he
mom.
Gonna tell it. He
And
gonna tell you.
take this how they want to take it.
Tell you.
For 6 months, that drove to CCB court in a Rolls Royce, nigga, by himself. I never forget because Captain Wheel or Brother Wheel, FOI, used to be from 89 East Coast, right? Called me. The whole, where people can sit is Crips, Bloods, and Muslims. Box walked in that motherfucker in front of everybody, got on that stand, nigga, and got out for 6 months and didn't care. Everybody knows this is a situation that's at CCB court. I've never known Box to have a Fed case with his homies in life. They beat that case in CCB court. If this was a Fed case, and it's crazy they say that, you would have never been a Superman.
No. They trying to say that the Main Streets had two separate cases, so they acknowledging the state case that I was talking about, but they trying to say that the case that they're trying to say that you told on is a whole separate case.
So where's the case number at?
Look, listen, I don't know. I'm telling them. This all I can do is tell them.
Yeah.
I don't know about no Fed case, nigga. I wasn't speaking on the Fed case. If it is one, nigga, I'm speaking on what I'm speaking on. I'm speaking on the state shit.
You can Google that shit. All you gotta do is Google Robert Ross, Shaquille O'Neal.
And let's be real. If there was real paperwork on WAK, people would have
But like you said earlier, when you got the CS or the confidential, that word C, right? Letter C, right? Only person would know is the people on the case. Ain't nobody came out and said,
I'm not on the case. I was never
arrested. So I'm just saying,
none of that shit.
So niggas mad at me because like that's one thing about like even for my supporters and fans of anybody out there, like nigga, what the hell effect. Like, do not rock with me, nigga, if you trying to like play any position, nigga, talking about I'm compromised, my nigga. I'm a nigga that's been going to jail since he's been
The reason why and Jefe is letting it be known is because based on the simple fact of WAK case when it came to that gun and different allegations that have to do with WAK, it's a lot of CI stuff in there. And people are trying to insinuate who the CIs are. And just like 600 just said right now, the CIs, the only people that would know who the CIs are the people that's involved. So if WAK never tells on itself, then no one knows until the person that's on the case speaks up and say, yes, WAK did this, yes, WAK did that. But if it's on WAK's case, and now all of a sudden the CI leads to other people's demise, That's treacherous. That's treacherous. But I'm gonna stop right here because I gotta go walk the dog. But I'm gonna still stay live, just based on WAK 100. He a cold dude, y'all. I really I can't vouch for him. And if you could tell why they was talking, and Jefe got a little aggressive. I don't know if y'all picked up on it, but he got a little aggressive, like, hey, but what I'm saying, like he was trying to, invert like what he's saying, because WAK 100 will try to bully the words, and he will try to take over the narrative. And we already know. Look, man, you know how some people be out of pocket, but it ain't on paper? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this nigga did something, but his name just ain't on the paper. That's how a lot of people slide. That's exactly how a lot of people slide. Because sometimes when people give that free information, the officers will act like they knew what was going on and what was happening. That's a fact. But just like he said, only the people involved know who told. Just like on my case. It wasn't no doubt about it. You signed and circled my face. And then, since you thought I was fighting a bazillion years, you went right to the hood, kept repping, kept telling niggas, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, well, got life. Oh yeah, this isn't that. That's what they was telling my bitches, the homies, everybody. Everybody in my hood thought I had life. And that's a cold setup, broski. That's a cold setup. They did me foul. Man, do you know when I finally did get out of prison, the female told me when I went to the beauty shop, because I had long straight back braids, my shit was like long. She was like, oh, that's crazy. I thought you was dead. I said, I had to feel myself like, dead? She was like, yeah, I haven't seen you in so long. Like, I thought you was dead. What you read? You been in jail. You look healthy. Yeah, real talk. Some people gave information about where my people stayed. That's in my paperwork, but they don't got the name. We talking about Culver City that ain't got nothing to do with no Inglewood, nothing. How the fuck they know where I stay? Unless the homies told them. But like he said, only you would know on that case. So, and then second, and Jefe told on himself by saying, yeah, when the homies found out I was going to No Jumper, this, and that, I got a gang of phone calls. So if you got a gang of phone calls, why you still go? Clout chasing. Don't matter what the check say. Do it the Jefe way. Even if you got to twerk something. Yeah, that's what they doing, twerking something. And you know who endorsed them? Munchie. But WAK don't get along with Munchie. But like I said, just because he got into it with Deuce M's, that's the only reason why he on No Jumper right now. And then he trying to get Jefe vibe to see if he gonna go with his narrative and if he gonna press whatever the issue they trying to press. And I could tell the nigga 600, he doing more listening than talking, because he knows that first off, and Jefe is your biggest op since the beginning. 6 O's and 8 trays, that's the biggest ops. So you could tell. And then it's choreographed. Look at how the table's set up. Look, you got Jefe and you got WAK 001 sitting by each other. But then what the fuck is Lush doing there for? Who is Lush? What does Lush do? See, that's what make me mad. And that's when we say you cloud chasing the race. This nigga say he know a couple rap songs. Yeah, nigga, me too. So what the fuck are you doing on a podcast talking about Monster Cody to some white boys on a white platform? Now, what I don't understand on the second level is, why does WAK 100 have to fuck with No Jumper to get his point across? Like, why is everybody using No Jumper? Who made them that famous? Just because Triple X was on there? Come on, man. You ain't got to be woke. You just got to pay attention. Munchie want to say when you talk like this, you talking like you woke. He ain't woke. And if woke is having some common sense by getting older, then hell yeah, I'm woke, nigga. And I'm woke to your bullshit too. That's how I look at it, nigga. You call me woke, then hell yeah, I'm woke. I'm woke to your bullshit. And I'm woke to somebody saying some BS, talking about you woke. No, common sense ain't woke. Shoot, I barely sleep. And I ain't on drugs. I be working so much, I stay woke. But that nigga WAK, he ain't no good, man. I don't know how else to tell you. If I could tell you in Spanish, I would. No bueno. You gotta understand, every time WAK get on the internet and he want a point to be pushed, he get on a big platform, just like Bosco did with Cam Capone. They know where to go. They know these guys. They're their friends. And if anybody they don't like, you will not be a friend. And they will box you out, black ball, whatever they want to call it. White ball, black ball, green ball. They gonna do that. And you cashed in. You know his real name is Cash. So you don't think he was on some cash shit? He gonna cash in on your ass? WAK is not to be trusted. WAK got a lot of fallen soldiers when it comes to this internet stuff. Like he don't have winning capabilities. His boys be going to jail and all that. They fighting Ricos. So at the end of the day, it's like, what can